Chris Watkin here, and today I'm joined by the boss man of the estate agency, Chris Buckler, and he's here to talk to me about how his dyslexia and ADHD is a superpower in his estate agency. Talk to me, Chris.
Well, I'd like to think it is, right? People might go, huh? It's a weird one. So we were just having a conversation offline. I didn't know I was dyslexic till I was kind of early 20s. I was working as a management consultant down in the city for Deloitte, and my boss said to me, "Hey, Chris, listen, I think you might be dyslexic." And I was quite nonchalant at the time. I said, "Listen, Amy, I nearly got a first at uni without trying. I don't think so." She was like, "Do this test." Not bad. And I did the test, and it came back as heavily dyslexic, and it's actually getting worse and worse. And I was at the time like, "Oh, this is really bad," and it certainly humbled me at the time. But actually, I can't write an email. I have to read an email 3 or 4 times to make sure it doesn't make mistakes, and even then, I don't get it. But you chat to mates and what have you, and they go, "Oh, I'm dyslexic. I've got, and I'm going, but it's actually a superpower because we're really creative and we can speak to people in a certain way, and actually don't see it as a disability." And for anyone watching this that's dyslexic and sees it as a disability, I think that if you can take anything from this mindset shift and say it's not, it really, really isn't, and just Google, right? Positives of dyslexia, and there's so many things that come up. So use it as an advantage.
And what about the ADHD?
So I did a test.
One of these proper tests.
A proper test, yeah, online, and I was listening to a podcast because I thought, something's not. I'm pretty sure I've got mild ADHD. I dated a girl for a little while, and she was like, she dealt with all sorts of people on various parts of the spectrum. And she was like, "No, you're definitely on there just a bit." And I think so. Yeah, I did a test anyway. Was listening to podcasts about how hard it's actually to get diagnosed and treated in the UK. Now, mine came back as low to mild, which was not necessarily a relief, but I thought, okay, that's fine. But I look at it again. You Google the positives and say, well, what can I take from this? So I can very easily go into a room and connect to people and get business cards, have meaningful conversations, and people will remember me. I genuinely give a damn about vendors and my self-employed agents, and that's ingrained as part of both things we've discussed, right? So I'd argue if I'm bringing an agent into our business, I emotionally are vowing that agent so much more because it's important to me that they succeed. So for me, you look at both of them and go, are they, do they provide disadvantages? Sure, in some cases, and I have to be very aware of, sending emails or interactions and everything else, but can you harness them as superpowers? Most definitely.
We've had people with ADHD and dyslexia on that sofa, and to be on this sofa, you need to be a bloody good agent. Especially ADHD, there's been some amazing agents on that sofa, and I think if you can channel it and be self-aware of what it brings to the party, but also what weaknesses you have and what you can do to backfill those in with support from other people, then actually I think it is a superpower. Thank you for your time today, Chris.
Thanks for having me.